Good morning and welcome to the fresh edition of Better Thyself. Just imagine a young child, 5-year-old. He is in the school for the first day and with him is his close friend who is a bit, let's say, obese, and he's being teased by the other kids. And this kid who is obese, when he's teased, starts weeping. So what would this child do? What do you think as a parent or an elder sibling that the child would do? Most of you would think, possibly right, that the appropriate response would be that this young man should show empathy. That means that he would be understanding and comprehending the feelings of his obese friend and show a compassionate response to his distress. And that is what is called empathy. How he would show his empathy is something different. That depends on the situation. That depends on the age of the persons. That depends on different parameters, which can be as high as 20. But tell me, is it realistic really to expect the young kids to have that empathy? It has been seen undeniably that the kids, toddlers, as young as 8 to 10 months old, have been documented as showing signs of empathy. As a matter of fact, demonstrations of the more obvious forms of empathy, showing concern when somebody is crying, can always be seen in toddlers. But all aspects of the development, the quantity and the quality of this skill dramatically shifts from one child to the other. We as parents, elders, siblings forget that empathy is not a fixed trait. But this is a trait that can be fostered and the children can be made to learn it. It can be encouraged and cultivated by the elder siblings as well as all adult caregivers. Nobody can deny that it would take some time to develop the trait of empathy, which is one of the strongest human traits and makes you a better person. While we know that young children learn to be very empathic in their development, it can lead to many skills when they become old, to treat others with kindness, respect, and understanding. These children who have higher degree of empathy become very emphatic parents, spouses, co-workers, and friends. And normally, parents who are normal, average parents want their children to be more empathic. Because if you lack empathy, there's every danger of going up in the life as a sociopath, whether that sociopathic traits are hidden or clear. So there are some ways that we can enable our children to be more empathic. This trait can be developed. The first is the parents, the elder siblings, the caregivers, the teachers should model how to value feelings. First, whenever possible, show warmth and empathy towards children. We more often do not. We show all the empathy for a child. But the moment the child enters the school, we become judges. We judge their every action. Even the most innocent action gesture is frowned upon. The feelings of the children are always there, and the children do not hide their feelings. But they are also copying you all the time. A child, if the father comes back from the home and cuddles him up, he'll be happy. But if he sees the same father mistreating his mother, whatever positive feeling he had at the time of being cuddled would turn into anger, which can be latent, hidden, or obvious, depending on the child's upbringing and attitudes. Children are always watching you to learn appropriate ways of behaving themselves and are influenced by the behavior around them. You can be a good role model for your child by acknowledging and valuing the feelings, not only of the child, but all the people you interact with, especially your spouse. If you are capable of showing understanding and sympathy for the spouse and the kids, especially when they're sad, distressed, upset, frustrated, or in need of help. Just imagine your wife has gone out and she was driving and she had an accident. She's already on the verge of tears. Maybe she's at fault, but then you start telling the stories that women cannot drive, the women are careless. That is stupid. But while it is stupid, it's also generating the same identical feeling in your child who is watching, and he'll always be feeling, my mother tells me can do no wrong, and now if he's saying it, he must be right. Do you think this child, when he grows up, would have empathy for his spouse? No. So, when children show negative emotions and acknowledge how they feel, try to understand them. Provide nurturing to them unless the signal is okay, and then move to something else. We are often so much engrossed in our work that we ignore the feelings of the children. We are so much obsessed for earning money for doing the job that the most important job of bringing up children correctly we miss. Young children sometimes need help, even understanding what they are feeling. So label the emotion for them. If they are crying, you don't have to say, don't cry. No. Just simply say, well, you are crying. Can I be of help? Try to establish a connection. Second important thing is connect feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. When you are talking about feelings, connect your behavior with the feelings for the children so that they understand the cause and effect. For example, one child is sad because his friend has taken his toy. How do you help Max feel better? So the first child feels better. Teaching kids about the cause and effect can be done through stories, play acting, or reading books. Talk to the children about the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of the characters. What might the characters do next? Ask this question. You see, the causal effect we always ignore. The cause and the effect. Explain to the children and ask them their reactions, their responses to the various things. If you are reading a story to them, connect that scene of the story with the child's own experience. If the character, for example, is sad because he misses his parents, connect the feeling of the child who also might have expressed sadness for something similar. This would enable the child to understand the connection between the feelings, thoughts, and behaviors, and that is what is extremely important. For older children, that's from the age 10 onwards, ask them to step into their mind, take the perspective of another child or an adult. How do you think what they're feeling? Why might they be upset? What can we do to help them? Make them feel involved. And that would be a major step towards seeing the reality. And then the most important thing is, we are creatures of our environment, our milieu. We are what our surroundings are. Try to create an atmosphere of empathy. Try to create empathy-friendly climate in which they live, in which they eat, in which they breathe, in which they act. Whether it's a family or a classroom, always parents in one case, teachers in the other, put a focus on working together to build a climate that encourages children to have empathy and understanding with other members of that group, whether it's a family group or whether it is peer group that's of class. If your child in home or in the classroom is struggling with empathy, try to set them up for success by creating opportunities so that they can show empathy. Highlight for them how being kind can benefit everyone involved. It's a win-win situation. For example, the sister has lost a toy and the brother, his sibling, finds it. And then you say, well, have you ever told a child, well, that was very kind of you to help your sister when she lost her favorite toy. I bet she'll remember that and would want to help you should you ever need it. So both the children are being taught that capability of having empathy. This would impact their behaviors for the future and make them better, not as better citizens, that I don't care at present, as better human beings. They would be the children who will be able to comprehend their needs and the needs of those with whom they are interacting. Do you know, and I have been saying it again and again, that strong empathy skills can set up the children for success in their life. Parents, teachers, caregivers, siblings, most of all, can play a powerful role in helping the kids achieve this success. And this success is then mutual. As I said, this is a absolutely win-win situation. So your actions, your mode of behavior is one thing, something which comes naturally. But second is connecting them to the real life situation, creating a climate, an overwhelming, enveloping atmosphere where the children see all around that the people who show empathy are better people. In case you cannot do that, you are failing in your job to bring up the children. Children do not grow by bread alone. It's not sufficient to give them vitamin supplements. It's essential to give them good values. And empathy is one value, which is one of the most important ones. And its importance can never be belittled. Empathy, the feeling of empathy, would make them connect with nature, would make them grow stronger, that they can tide over the misfortunes. Apart from being considerate to others, they'll also learn that their connectivity with the human beings and with the nature makes them somebody who can feel, think, act as a better human being. And that is what is required. Thank you.